What we're looking at here are wattles, also known as acacias. This one's called bipinnate, with bi means two, pinnate is each little thing. So they've got little feathery leaves. This is also a wattle, and it's got complete leaves. Now, before we go more into how to work out what is a wattle, a quick thing about them. These are pioneer plants, and if you think of a pioneer, they'll come into a place early and they'll set things up, usually ready for the later people to come. Now, in this case, as pioneers, they fix nitrogen. That means they're able to work with mycorrhizal fungi. They're able to work to get nitrogen out of the air and to fix it into the soil. So then the nitrogen's available for the other plants that come, like the regrowing eucalypts, gum trees that is, and a whole range of other species. But after a big disturbance such as a fire, you'll see a whole lot of pioneer plants. And the wattles or acacias are one of the most abundant of the pioneer plants. Now a little about how to tell a wattle, because they look so different. All wattles have a gland. Now you may or may not be able to see that on the camera, but if you're that interested in botany, you can look at some books and then come out into the wild and see what you can see, because it is actually really small, and in this case it's a tiny little dot, little brown dot there on the base of the leaf. Now all wattles have glands, so that's the one on this one, and on this bipinnate you can see them actually more clearly. I'll get one out in the sun here for you. So take a look here. This little dot here is the gland. So there's a gland along that leaf as well. Now what the glands do is they release a substance that the ants like to eat. So then you'll have ants visiting and being around the wattle trees. Another really good thing about that is that the seeds that fall have a little piece of food on them, and the ants will eat that food. But the ants don't eat that food all the time. The ants eat that food when there's not much else to eat. So what the ants will do is they live near the wattles, they'll collect the seed, they'll take it down underground where their ant houses are, they'll pile all the wattle seeds up in there like a storage, and then when there's a time when there's not a lot of food around or no food, such as after a big fire, the ants will get those seeds and they'll nibble off the little food bit, little fatty carbohydrate that's on each seed called an elysosome. Once that food bit's been chewed off, the seed is no longer useful to the ant, so the ants then bring it up and put it up on the landscape around them. This means that the wattle seeds have a safe place underground during the very hot fires, and when there's not much food around, their seeds get deposited into the ash and ready to grow with the next rains. So this is just one tiny little example of how things fit together. We have the wattles, pioneer plants, fixing nitrogen for the other plants to come in. We have the association of the wattles with the ants, which take and protect their seeds underground and bring them out after fires. There is so much more to the wattles and to the whole ecosystems, but this is just a little look at one tiny piece, and I give appreciation to all those who've passed on their stories, particularly the long history of stories from Australia's First Peoples.